Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. On Saturday, just gone, we had Cheltenham Festival Trials Day. And I said I would just have a look over the results with you guys and discuss a few things really. Some definite points of interest, a couple of disappointing races, and a couple of quite impressive performances as well, and a few underwhelming ones. So let's just take a quick look at what happened here. In the 12:40 race, we had the Timeform Novices Handicap Chase. A race won by Jaguar, who is an improving horse, trained by Oliver Greenhill and Josh Guerrero, an up-and-coming stable. They're doing really well. On the whole, they also trained the runner-up, who ran a cracking race, Billy the Real Big Red. Now, Jaguar is a fine, big stamp of a horse. Really, really good-looking horse. And he jumped very well here. And if you just look here, what he did on the numbers, off a mark of 132, he ran to an RPR of 143, which suggests he's around about 11 or 12 pounds ahead of the handicapper on that basis. The handicapper, I think, has put him up to 139 on the back of that, so put him up 7 pounds, which is fair. And you can see that he did a really nice speed figure there of 128. So he is now a 6-to-1 shot for the novices, for the newly reinstalled Novices Handicap Chase. And I can see why he's market favourite for that race, and he will take a little bit of beating. My only concern for him really would be, will he handle a big field? And other than that, it's just a case of, will he be the value? You can imagine him going off at quite a sharp price, you know, a 4-to-1 favourite, 7-to-2, something like that on the day. On that basis, you could argue that 6-to-1 is a fair price, but it wouldn't be for me at a big festival. I'd be looking for each way angles, maximum each way places, firms paying 5-6 places and that type of thing, and having a couple of horses on my side at bigger prices. But as far as a festival trial goes, Jaguar was impressive in his own right. He got up the hill really nicely and got the better of his stablemate, who was the favourite and who he was having to give a good few pounds to as well. So a nice performance from Jaguar. Now, East India Doc, I mean, what can you say about this horse really? He's just come to life over hurdles, and you can see here, he ran to more of what you'd expect from a Triumph Hurdle favourite, basically, is one way of putting it. He did an RPR of 143, backed it up on the clock with a really good speed figure. He came 10 lengths clear of Stencil, who was said to be a really talented horse, and was quite quietly fancied by Noel George and James Reevely. You know, East India Doc made all the running, handled the soft ground very well. I think he'll be a little bit better on nicer ground in the spring as well, given his flat racing background and his jumping style. He's just a really good juvenile, and you know, I think he should be a clear favourite. I think himself and Lulamba are kind of 5-to-2 joint favourites-ish in the market. I think this fella, East India Doc, should be, based on what they've actually achieved, should be the clear favourite. We need to see a little bit more from Lulamba for him to have parity in the market with East India Doc, on form at least. Another nice performance from James Owens' juvenile, and for me, he'll go to the Cheltenham Festival as the Triumph Hurdle favourite, unless something like Lulamba comes out and wins the Dovecote by 10 lengths or something like that, and then we have a really exciting clash in our hands between the pair of them. We could end up being quite a small field if there's two standout juveniles and not a great deal coming over from Ireland or anywhere else in the UK. The Irish we do have a couple of interesting juveniles, but nothing of this class so far. But obviously we have the Dublin Racing Festival and whatnot coming up, so we'll see what happens. East India Doc passed his trial with flying colours, bottom line. Moon d'Orange, for John McConnell, yeah, I mean, he's around about a 16-to-1 shot now for the festival plate. I get the feeling that this could have been his goal cup, so to speak. He did get up the hill nicely. He handled the soft ground nicely. I wonder, would he be put under an awful lot of pressure in a spring festival type of environment? He did an okay time as well. You know, the race was satisfactory on the clock. The main talking point of the race really was how Iroko was handled. he produced a good performance. Iroko ran to an RPR of 154 from his mark of 152, was tenderly handled by John Joe O'Neill. The bottom line is this horse, Iroko, is being prepared for the Grand National, and it's a case of them looking after him and getting him ready for entry, for want of for lack of want for me to go any deeper in terms of their intentions and how this horse was ridden in this race. But it's just the reality of things, really. I suppose he is a horse who struggled with confidence in his jumping, and I suppose they're trying to get him jumping as well. It is about playing the handicapping game too, but you know, he is a young horse. They're seeing him as a Grand National winner potentially, and they're just trying to prepare him for that with that in mind. Obviously, that's of no help to Cheltenham punters when this horse went off at 11-2 for this race. But that's just the reality of the situation. But as for the winner, he could come back again for the plate, and one or two others could as well in this race. Imperial Saint ran okay. I should imagine he'll come back for the plate as well. Imperial Saint, so he could be one to look out for, having done a good speed figure there. And Philip Hobbs' stable has been generally in pretty good form all season with Johnson White, his new training partner. The Cotswold Chase, I backed Stage Star. Stage Star was a 10-1, was it 9-1, 1 point win at 9-1 on the main line. It was one of only 2 selections we had on Saturday, and I really fancied Stage Star to run a big race, and he did. He was in front coming over the last. He was in front 100 yards from the line, but then L'Empresse just outstayed him up the hill. And stamina really is the key here. We already know that L'Empresse doesn't stay well enough to win a Gold Cup. He'll probably run in the Gold Cup and be 20-25-1, something around that range. And, you know, he could creep into the top 4 once again. But as for winning it, probably not. Stage Star, he's definitely worthy of his step up to 3 miles, and I think there's definitely some nice options for this horse now over 3 miles plus. He did stay the 1 mile. I suppose it was the extra half a furlong on that really deep ground that just got him, that just caught him out. Now bear in mind, he was giving £4 to L'Empresse, so Stage Star actually comes out best of the pair on this running. Which is just a shame, considering that I backed him. He was actually well backed on the day, went off at 13-2, pulled 16 lengths clear of Gentleman's Game. Stage Star, I would imagine, will skip Cheltenham and will be prepared for entry. I could imagine the connections, there'll be a long list of owners of this horse from the owners group, and a lot of them might want a day out at the Cheltenham Festival for him to run in the Gold Cup. If he does run in the Gold Cup, Stage Star, he will have earned his place. I'm not sure if he's got an entry or not. But I should imagine it'll be entry for him. He's actually entered in the Ryanair, doesn't have a Gold Cup entry. So it'll be entry for Stage Star for sure. And L'Empresse will certainly go for the Gold Cup and probably couldn't take in entry as well. So as a festival trial, it was unsatisfactory. But we at least found out that Stage Star stays 3 miles and stays it well, because he stayed the 3 miles 1. It was perhaps just the final 100 yards that caught him out against L'Empresse, who we know doesn't stay well enough to win the Gold Cup. Now let's get on to Constitution Hill for a minute. This horse, I love him to bits. He was my nap at the festival when he won the Supreme Novices Hurdle a couple of seasons back, 3 seasons back now. Since then, he's become unbackable because of his amazing talents and stuff. But let's just look at what he did here. He ran to an RPR of 150, backed it up with a very poor speed figure. So this essentially was a nothing race. It's a nothing race. All we know is that Constitution Hill still has 4 legs, that he exists, that he can run, and that he can jump. As far as what he has as a champion hurdler left, it is difficult to know, because he at Kempton he only ran to 162 from memory. So yeah, he ran to a Racing Post rating of 162. Now that is around about a stone below his best, and this is around £12 below that again. Now I'm not an idiot. Well, I'm not an idiot. I know that this was just the horse. You know, he's fresh, he's happy. Let's run him. Let's let the racing fans get to see Constitution Hill in the flesh. let's get a little bit more experience into him, match practice before the big day in March. I get that fully. But at the same time, he beat Brentford Hope by 3 lengths. You know, I have 2 cats, and you know, neither of them would be 16-1 to beat Brentford Hope in a running race. With all respect to Brentford Hope, you know, he's not a fantastic horse for this type of grade, and I just don't know. Like, when you look at Lossiemouth and Brighter Days Ahead in particular, the more obviously improving mare, if both of those mares run in the Champion Hurdle and Constitution Hill can't get back up to this sort of level, this into the 170s, 167 even, he might struggle to win a Champion Hurdle if he was to hit that. So he needs to be hitting 174, 172 to kind of win the Champion Hurdle again, with giving £7 to those mares. I don't know. I like to think that he can do it, but I can guarantee you, if both of those mares run in March, the bookmakers will be all out to get Constitution Hill. They'll be laying the hell out of him on the day. So much so that you could end up getting 11-10 or even bigger on the day if he runs, based purely on these 2 runs. Because essentially both of those 2 runs, neither of them are good enough to win a Champion Hurdle. They're just not. And it is just as simple as that. Obviously, he's coming back from his issues, etc., etc. But, you know, even the most diehard Constitution Hill fans, if they're also appreciative of form figures and speed figures, would like to have seen a bit more from him here in his last 2 starts. So that's Constitution Hill. Nonetheless, he remains the 4-5 favourite for the Champion Hurdle in March. The last 2 races, Gowl Road, the Cleeve Hurdle. I backed Gowl Road in his last 2 starts. He's a horse I have a lot of time for, but the fact that he's able to win a Grade 2 in a race that used to be a Grade 1, it's just a little bit of a shame, really. You go back, Big Bucks won this race 3 or 4 times, I think. You go back to winners like Thistlecrack when he was running up to RPRs of 172 in this race. Look at Paisley Park, ran to 172 in this race back in 2019. And it's just, look, on RPRs, this race has just been on a gradual downgrade all the way down along. Last year, Noble Yates ran to 149. This year, Gowl Road was able to win the race and win it quite cosily, having only had to run to 145 on RPRs, which is just a bit sad, really. You know, I used to love the Cleeve Hurdle, and it was a legitimate Grade 1 for a long time. But it just came down the pecking order a little bit. As for Gowl Road and where he goes from here, and Montmiral, anyone's guess. There'll be handicap races for them. As for winning at the Cheltenham Festival, I couldn't see any of them winning at the Cheltenham Festival. The likes of Strong Leader and Crambo will probably take their chance in the Stairs Hurdle. Both of them were unimpressive and a little bit disappointing on the day, considering they went off favourite and second favourite. Gowl Road was actually joint favourite with Strong Leader, I should correct myself. But the Long Walk winner, Crambo, was once again quite disappointing. So yeah, overall, a little bit of a disappointing picture, really, from the Cleeve Hurdle. And I should imagine that none of the horses in it will be winning anything at the festival. Now, this Grade 2, let's finish here. And I won't keep you too long, but thanks for your attention and thanks for listening. I really do appreciate it. And I'm going to try and make as many of these kind of videos as I can, previewing and reviewing all of the top racing on this YouTube channel. 6 Mile Bridge for Fergal O'Brien was getting £5 from Potter's Charm and Bill Joyce, the 2 kind of main market protagonists for this race. Potter's Charm was unbeaten over hurdles up to this point, went off at 8 to 15 favourite, and he was a little bit disappointing in the closing stages. And you just have to say that the busyness of the early part of his season has probably meant that he's not going to be a spring festival winner, and that's just the way it goes for some of these horses that show so much form and winning ability early on in the season. The horses that you see being brought along a little bit more gradually, a la Willie Mullins, a la Nicky Henderson, tend to be the ones that peak at the right time. As for 6 Mile Bridge and what he's capable of, he ran to an RPR of 145. At the time, he was rated 128. The handicapper has put him up to 142 now, so he's taken a stone hike in the weights in the handicap. Let's just see. Oh, so we didn't get a post-race comment. about 6 Mile Bridge was a little bit of a shame. Let's just see what the analysis says about him. 6 Mile Bridge had won 2 lesser races at short odds and looked to have a bit to find on this rise in grade, carrying a rating of 128 into the race. As I said, he clearly thrived for the stiffer competition though, travelling well on the pace throughout and pulling clear in the running. Now 14 to 1 from 66 to 1 for the Turners, he's fully entitled to take his chance at the festival and should have more to offer. Okay, fair. Yeah, you know, a respectable each way candidate for the 2 mile 4 or the 2 mile, nearly 2 miles 5 at Turner's Novices Hurdle at the Cheltenham Festival. Fergal O'Brien, a popular local trainer, there's no reason why Connections shouldn't go for that race, and he would have reasonable each way claims, but you'd imagine he will need to step up his game considerably from this effort in order to have any type of a chance. As for these two, Potter's Charm and Bill Joyce, just a little bit disappointing really. Bill Joyce did look good the last day at Sandown, wasn't it? But he was just a little bit underwhelming here. And Potter's Charm. But look, they're both only 6. Both of them have, well, to be honest with you, the top 5 here, all of them are going to make nice chasers. 6 Mile Bridge, Potter's Charm, Bill Joyce in particular, Quebecois as well for Paul Nicholls, who think he thinks the world of him. And Gamester's Guy even is a horse to look out for, who ran in 5th place. So just a few observations there from Cheltenham Festival Trials Day. I hope you find some of this useful. Once again, thanks for your time. Post any comments that you might have about festival, the Cheltenham Festival or Trials Day, or anything you like really, horse racing related, in the comments. Please do like and subscribe to the channel. There's plenty more horse racing content to come. Thank you very much.